Hello there guys and girls and everything that's in between, and welcome to this feature preview video for the Viking Conquest DLC for Mount Blade Warband. On October 16th of 2014, Tailworlds came out and announced probably the last DLC that's going to come out for Mount Blade Warband, and that is the Viking Conquest DLC. Viking Conquest is sort of the spiritual successor of the Brytenwalda module. If you've never played Brytenwalda for Mount Blade Warband, I definitely encourage you to do so. And much like the previous DLCs in Napoleonic War and with Fire and Sword, this DLC actually came into existence because people really cared about making modules for Mount Blade Warband. And that's why the game is great, because people are always making new things, and new awesome DLC like this keeps popping up, which is fantastic. So this video is going to be split up into 3 different sections. We're going to look at the biggest changes, the biggest additions, and some multiplayer additions that are going to be featured in the DLC. Obviously, I'm not going to include everything. If you want to see a full feature list, check the description out at the end of the video, and you'll see what Tailworlds themselves released as the full feature list. I'm only adding the things that I think are the most important and the most fun. So, biggest changes. The first thing that comes to my mind when I read this is that it's going to be a historically accurate world as opposed to the fictional setting of Warband in Colradia that we got. It's going to be set between the 6th and the 8th century, so it's basically going to be a time of Vikings and boats and sea raids and lots of men with gnarly beards and chainmail. The real world map is going to be split between the British Isles, Frisia, Denmark, and Norway, so there's going to be lots and lots of sea space between them, which is going to facilitate the naval combat, but we'll get to that later. There's going to be 21 different kingdoms with 6 distinct cultures, as opposed to the 6 factions and 6 cultures we have in Warband. And finally, character creation will have a new dimension added to it with the new personality traits and options. This will basically allow you to dictate how your player interacts with other NPCs in the world, as opposed to just, you know, picking his background as being a noble and changing your stats and your gear. Next up is the biggest additions. Obviously, as you'd expect with any DLC, there's going to be lots of new armors, weapons, and art. There are going to also be new types of NPCs that have special unit types and special unit abilities, like the cleric, standard bearers, bards, priests, and lots more. Probably one of the biggest new additions is the addition of naval travel and combat. You're going to now be able to take your men into the seas. You're going to be able to build and customize different ship types and hire all sorts of seafaring units. The sea itself is going to have wave and wind mechanics, so there's going to be cool dynamics like storms and thunder and weather, and that's going to make things like the coastal battles and the sea expeditions so awesome, so sea lovers rejoice. There's also going to be a new and complex religion system that's going to center around the 2 main religious groups of the time. There's going to be monasteries and NPCs that tend to each religious side. There's going to be Norse God and Christianity. Religions will affect your character, his or her interaction with the environment, and it's going to affect things like party morale and cohesion. So there's obviously going to be really cool emergent gameplay that's coming out of this new religion stuff. Finally, the biggest new addition, and probably the one that I'm excited about the most, is going to be the story mode. This is going to be a plot-driven gameplay that's going to involve political conspiracy, and it's going to definitely, for me, add immersion, and it's going to allow me to roleplay a lot, and I'm sure there will be a let's play, so stick around for that later. It's obviously going to be heavily influenced by choice, very similar to any Tailworlds game. What you choose is basically up to you completely, and it is really what drives the world forward. There's going to be lots of drama, I'm hoping, and it mentions here that there's going to be things like romance and betrayal, so who knows? This could be a whole Romeo and Juliet in the Dark Ages kind of thing. Moving on to the multiplayer additions, we're going to have new scenes and new maps for you to get on with your friends and kill other people with their friends. The most exciting thing, I think, for multiplayer is the addition of the special unit abilities, things like Berserker Rage, and there's actually going to be 3 new game modes that we don't really know much about at this stage. Dynamic sea battles, I guess this is inferred from the name that it's going to be kind of ships, the kind of move around and then slam into each other, and then people with axes jump on board of the other ship, and they start hitting each other rapidly with axes, and people fall off, and thunder hit. Okay, I'm getting carried away. The next game mode is gonna be Coastal Assault. I'm not exactly sure what this entails, but if you look at the video that was released with the DLC, you can kind of tell that one team is kind of on the shore defending, while the other team is trying to get to an objective point coming from the ocean. The last game mode is going to be the Warlords game mode. Again, I'm not really sure what this one is going to entail. If someone has any kind of guesses or intuitions, definitely let me know in the comment section below. Of course, there's going to be the other game modes that you've seen in Warband, like Conquest, Battle, Team Deathmatch, and Siege. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this feature preview video. Be sure to leave a like and a thumbs up and a comment telling me what you thought. Follow Tailworlds on their Facebook and Twitter at Mount and Blade. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter for more Tailworlds related news, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.